Welcome back to Fisherman's Tale, guys. This is going to be a fun, sort of interesting episode. I'm doing a little MCU specs, some deep MCU specs. What is coming next for Marvel? But this is not what's coming next on the TV show. This is what when people start talking spec. Well, are they talking what's already been everyone's confirmed, or are we talking like this is going to happen in the near future? So let's sort of look at it and sort of dive on in. And I'm going to talk about a few of these things. Talk about some beginner spec. When I say beginner spec, I'm talking about books that have already started to climb. These are not dollar books anymore. These are 50, 40, $60 books, sometimes even more than that. So the first one we'll talk about is Agents of Atlas. Everyone is specking on this book. This is beginner spec. It is not confirmed, but everyone bets it's coming. So the prices are starting to show this. This is new Agents of Atlas from the War of the Realms. Tons of first appearances in this book, guys. You're talking Crescent and Io, Sword Masters. On the cover is actually appears first in issue 2, but he's here on the cover of this issue. You have Luna, you have Arrow, the Aero. They're all first appearances. This is a new Pan-Asian team that's sort of created here with Shang-Chi and Jimmy Woo and Silk. There's on the cover, and Amadeus Cho. So you got all these Asian characters here. A lot of spec potential here with this book. There's a 1 for 25. There's a 1 for 50 for this book. Those have already been priced. They were high when they came out because there's a cool, interesting thing with this book. Marvel believed in the book, but stores weren't sure. It was just a spin-off series, War of the Realms. No one was really high on it when it came out, so they didn't order a ton. So Marvel actually sent double cover A's. So if you ordered 10, you got 20 of just cover A. That didn't mean you got the 1 for 25. You just got double cover A. So there's lots of cover A's out there. And I've seen lots of damaged covers A's out there. But there's a connecting cover variant that goes with the series. And then there's the 1 for 25 and 1 for 50, which are both climbing. And I thankfully have the 1 for 25. But I wish I had bought a few more when they were $25 and $30 and not 50 and 100 and climbing. But this is still spec that is still climbing. So if you want to be a beginner speculator and get money for your investment, this would be where you jump in. Beginner spec. It's not news. People have been talking about this probably since 6 months after this book came out. It slowly started to climb. It fell a little bit, but especially since the pandemic, people have been high on this book. Next book I want to look at is Avengers Academy #1. This one people have picked up over the years. I know I've picked up 1 or 2 copies. I'm hoping I still have them. I have to dig through my boxes to find it. Because it has first appearances in it. Whenever you have a team after Young Avengers, where do you go next? So Avengers Academy, a bunch of new players. They're right there on the cover. You have Metal, which is that skinless, looks like the Red Skull in the background. You have Veil, and she waves the little ribbons around. You have there's two other new characters in here. Hazmat is in the yellow suit. And then you have Reptile, who actually first appearance happened in issue before in a one-off solo issue. But all these are spec, and these all of a sudden shot up again. Went from being cover price to being $5 and $10 because Reptile is shown to have a new series coming out in the fall or into the summer. So people are going, well, shoot, if he's going to... So people are jumping on some of his early appearances, and they... a lot of times mistakenly, I thought this was his first appearance, but he actually appears in Avenger Initiative featuring Reptile. So once again, this is beginner spec because people have already jumped on this. This is already stuff that people are thinking, hey, in the next Marvel Phase 4, Phase 5, these have potential characters, not entire teams. We're talking 1 or 2 characters could show up, especially since we have this television world now with Disney Plus, and these characters could show up. So let's do some Phase 6, Phase 7, pick them up because they're dollar books now. They're back issue books, and just hold. And if you have the space, you just hold them. So let's look at some really deep MCU spec, and let me talk about why I went down this path. First book I want to talk about is Avengers Arena #1. Avengers Arena is Marvel and DC. Marvel sort of said, hey, you know that book Hunger Games that everyone loves, and there's done a couple of movies and people love? We need to capitalize on that. So there's also that Hunger Games book looks eerily similar to an Asian movie called Battle Royale. So let's do a comic book series that's based off of Hunger Games and Battle Royale, and let's make sure everyone knows it's a comic book series based off of Hunger Games and Battle Royale. So who's better as a villain? Arcade, who likes to play games. So they plucked 16 new Young Avengers. They pulled those characters from Avengers Academy we just met in, and they pulled in some runaway characters from the series Runaways. They pulled a couple Nico, however you say her last name, and Chase from that series. They pulled in X-23. They pulled in Darkhawk. They pulled in several different characters, but then they also pulled characters from a place called Braddock Academy. What the hell? Never heard of this place before. This is a place set in Britain. It is a school run by Captain Britain and his sister Megan, and these are British superheroes in training. So you get introduced to 3-4 kids all at once. And the reason I was interested in this book is because one of those kids, and I've been sitting on this for a while, is Cullen Bloodstone, the brother of Elsa Bloodstone. So you get introduced to him. He's just thrown into a bunch of, and then slowly throughout the series, you get to meet some of these characters and get to find out their stories. Each one of these first 10 issues in the series, there's 18 issues in the series. You get to meet a little bit and go through it. Guys, this is issue 1 that I'm showing you here. There's also a Scotty Young cover. There's a blank variant. And then there's a Perkins variant. And this is the image I'm showing you, the big blown up image is the Perkins variant. And it's a ghost to find, especially hard to find under $25. It's easily, some people have it listed for $250, some people have it listed for $60. So it's a hard book to find. If you can find it, it might be one to stash. Maybe someone's sitting on 100 of them and they're just waiting. But it's a really good cover. I'm only showing you part of it. But if you read the article, you can see the rest of the article. So what you start seeing, the opening page of Avengers Arena is this Arcade sitting there looking at the screen of all the different characters that he wants. And I'm giving you a little snapshot of it. And then as throughout the books, you sort of get to meet, okay, there's Cullen, the black shirt, blonde, little scrawny kid is Cullen Bloodstone. And then sitting behind him, and I love this guy's story. This is Anachronism. He's from Braddock Academy. He was a chubby, fat gamer. And every once in a while, he turned into this Celtic warrior. Well, in the book, what just happens, he gets bullied and trips and falls and breaks his computer and basically gets turned into this macho Celtic warrior. And whenever the Celtic warrior takes over his brain, or like he's always in a constant battle of the animalistic instincts of the Celtic warrior. Freaking badass when he wants to. He has a giant battle axe, and he's always walking around with his shirt off. I'm not sure how often he doesn't die in the series, because some of these characters do die in this Avengers. You get introduced to them and they die. This guy survives. He freaking chops off one of the kids' heads. I mean, the kid deserved it to a degree, but it's like, okay, are you good or are you bad? But there you go. You get introduced to him. And then finally, you get images of this Braddock Academy. And look who's one of the teachers of the Braddock Academy. There's Elsa Bloodstone riding a dragon. And then you get Spitfires there behind her. This is Braddock Academy. It shows up a few more times and mentioned a few more times. And I'm actually going to show you where it shows up. But I just like the idea of this school, like the House of Xavier, Professor Xavier's School for Exceptional Students. I like there's a Braddock Academy out there. And then another issue I'm going to show you, there's a few more schools out there that we don't know exist, but they exist. So you get introduced to 4 kids from the Braddock Academy in this Avengers Arena. I've read through the series. It's a fun sort of, I mean, it reminds me of Hunger Games. It reminds me of Battle Royale. But you also get to know some of these characters. And I didn't know them from Avengers Academy very well. So it's just interesting. And then finally, why the hell is Cullen Bloodstone here besides being a Bloodstone? What's his special thing? In this book, and this is the only reason I know of Avengers Arena originally. This covers, if you ever found it in a dollar bin, it's a $20 flip easy. It's a sexy cover. It's X-23. Basically, in the story, she gets the scent. It's triggered her animal instincts take over, and she's killing everybody and chasing everyone. Well, Bloodstone says, "All right, I'll handle it," and he takes his ring off, and he turns into this giant monster. And then there's more story to it. As this is issue 14, and so all of a sudden you know that Cullen's carrying this monster inside of him, and this ring helps him. The Bloodstone. So that's Avengers Arena. Issue 1, I definitely would pursue, especially those variants, because they're not in the cheap books that I've looked. I've looked for them. You can't. There's probably a store I don't know about that you can track down it in. But then Of course, this book here with the X-23, because this is just one that's been collected for a while. It's not a super pricey book, but people do want it. So let's look at the second book that I think is, our second series, I think has lots of MCU spec potential in the future. Not right away. This is put in a box and stash. And these are cheap. You can find these places. The Infinity Hunt. This came out when Infinity was coming with the series, and everyone jumped on some of those Infinity books. I remember seeing these, and I still see these in quarter or 50-cent dollar bins all the time. There's a 4-issue set, Infinity Hunt. Didn't realize that in this book, they introduce it's all the different superhero schools. Did you know there were superhero schools? That there was more than just one or two? There's like 6 or 7 different superhero schools. You have the Avengers Academy. You have the Future Foundation. You have Jean Grey's school. You have the Braddock Academy. You have the Wakandan School for Alternative Studies, the Pan-Asian School for the Unusually Gifted, and the Latvian School of the Sciences. Wakandan School for Alternative Studies, first time it's ever been mentioned. Pan-Asian School for Unusually Gifted, first time it's ever been mentioned. The Latvian School of Science, first time it's ever been mentioned. So this came out in 2004, end of 2013. Avengers Arena came out beginning of 2013. So you get introduced to Braddock Academy, still new. They're still playing with it. So I pulled some images, and basically these are just cameo. They were just guest appearances. It's more about the school itself to me. The characters, they might show up or not, but the fact that there is a Pan-Asian School for Unusually Gifted. 4 years before Agents of Atlas came out and the Pan-Asian influence is mentioned, here you got the Pan-Asian School for it. And guess who the headmaster of the school, the person who brings these kids to the school? Jimmy Woo. Where have we seen him? He was in WandaVision. So we know about this character. He's the headmaster of this school. And the three images at the bottom that you see there, this way, they're from the school. I'm not sure if any of them can show up in the MCU. I would love to see the Shri show up with the 6-arm astral arms, because she's one of the goddess from Hindu god of death or whatever. So pretty cool. Then up here, the robot character is Robot and Locke, or Box and Locks. Locks and Box. It's 2 characters from the Braddock Academy that we didn't meet in Avengers Arena. They are pulled here to represent the Braddock Academy. And then you have 3 characters from Wakanda, who Shuri is the one who introduces them, and she is Black Panther at this point, and she introduces them. I could easily see one of these characters, if not all 3 of them, showing up later in the Black Panther movie or the Wakandan influenced TV show. So fun spec plays. Get them while they're $1. Pick them up. But once again, guys, this is just Fisherman's Tale. This is comicbookinvest.com. Guys, if you like this sort of spec, if you like sort of what you saw here, this sort of crazy, really deep guesses, then subscribe. Talk to me. Tell me what you like about it. See if there's potential here. Maybe you've been hoarding these books for a while and you're like, I hate you. But guys, this is some deep, deep spec. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.